everyone. Welcome to Lovecast, the BL podcast reviews, where this month we're coming at you guys with another Taiwanese BL series review voted by our patrons with HIStory3 Trapped. I'm your host, Alexa, and I have the whole team with me today. Kayla, Pixie, and Heather are all here.
Yay.
I love that we always
Woo.
dance when the entire team is announced. Usually it's like, hi. And then when it's all of us, it's like,
Everyone's like,
hi.
woo.
It's more exciting.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just gonna jump in to start with the synopsis of the show. This is just me reading. Hopefully, I don't butcher the names too much, but here we go. Okay, 4 years ago, a veteran cop and an elderly gangster were killed in a gunshot attack. The only survivor and the dead gangster's protege, the enigmatic and ruthless Tang Yi, is now the new gang leader, who will stop at nothing to find the murderer and plans an elaborate trap to lure him out of hiding. Honest police officer Meng Xiaofei is obsessed with knowing the truth behind the case to avenge his mentor's death and spends all of his time tracking Yi and trying to find out what he is up to. When Xiaofei and Tang Yi are captured and to survive to take them. Ooh. That was a synopsis. In terms of episode count, episode length, and where you watch it, there's 20 episodes, but they're like 10 episodes total, I think. Where I watched it, they were put together in like one 45-minute, but technically 20 episodes, about 25 to 30 minutes each, and it's currently available on Viki.
Yay.
Alrighty. Yay. So we were talking beforehand, and we know this is one that we all have a lot of feelings, positive feelings about. So who just wants to jump right in and start with their feelings about HIStory3 Trapped?
I mean, this was one of the first shows I watched when I got into my like BL jam back in the day. I watched it before Make Our Days Count. Thank God. But yeah.
Interesting.
I remember I was really obsessed. Because it has such a involved plot that we're not too used to in BLs. Like usually it's very straightforward, but this has like a little bit twists and turns and a good story. And all the couples were really great. So I was just like, I love this.
Yeah, I think this was one of the ones that you, Pixie, were like trying to convince me to watch. And I have this thing when like people try and push me to watch a show, I almost put it off because it's like the same with like
Same.
because I was like,
Because I'm
is it really gonna be that good? Like, I don't know. It just like it's same with Gaia Saw Pellicula went before I watched that one.
I was gonna say.
It's just like if someone I don't know why my brain is like that, but this was very much one of those ones. Like I didn't watch it until after we started the podcast because like Pixie was trying to convince me, and I mean she was right. It was so good. I had a lot of fun watching it. I think to this date, I think Trapped and Maker's Count are pretty even for me as like my two favorite of the history series. But it is like at the top of the history series for me, and definitely still one of my all-time favorite Taiwanese BLs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's definitely the one of the shows that I usually recommend when people are like, oh, what should I get into? Like, I want to watch BL. What should I start with? And I'm like, well, Trapped. Trapped is a good time. Trapped has a lot going for it. And I think that it is a great starter BL. 100%.
Yeah, what's great about it too is that even though it's been a couple of years, but it's still
it came out in
relevant.
2019.
Yeah, it
April
still holds
2019.
Yeah, it still holds up. Like you could have made that BL today and not like notice.
Change much.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's funny you were saying that you watched Trapped before Make Our Days Count, because it did come out before Make Our Days Count,
Mm.
but a lot of people, I think, who haven't really watched a lot of Thai BL, not Thai BL, oh my god, Taiwanese BL,
Taiwanese,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
um, um, they kind of actually, they watch Make Our Days Count before they watch
Mm.
Trapped, and so I think that when people
Yeah.
watch it in that order, it kind of, maybe it makes Trapped, I don't know, like, maybe it makes
Mm-hmm.
Trapped a bit more special because it doesn't have the gut-wrenching ending that
You're
Make Our Days
healing.
Count does. It is. It's a little bit healing. Whereas I definitely watched it before Make Our Days Count
Yeah.
as well, because I was watching it as they were coming out, and I remember Trapped made me feel so like satisfied at the end, and I was like, oh, this is great, this is amazing. And then I went into Make Our Days Count. I was like, what happened? But like, but Trapped itself, yeah, it sounds like it
Chat,
wouldn't have a happy ending, but it does, and
right?
I'm
But
glad that
it's
it
also
does.
like it sounds like a
And
really violent show and all of that, but it weirdly gives you a lot of like warm feelings.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. And by happy
Mm-hmm.
ending, I saw Alexa go, and I'm
It's like,
like, yeah, I meant like compared to
Free
Make Our Days
relationship
Count.
wise,
Taiwanese.
yeah. Relationship wise,
Still
yes.
in jail, dude.
Yeah.
He's still
That's
alive, so I
iconic,
guess it's a
though.
win.
Free Tangy! Free Tangy! Free
Mm-hmm.
Free
Tangy!
It just
Uh,
contributes to like that like obvious bad boy vibe that he
Yeah.
has
Mm.
in contrast to Xiaofei. So I think it's iconic that he goes to
Mhm.
jail. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, 5 years later.
Mm-hmm. Spoiler
No
alert.
fucks given, like literally, just walking straight into the police
Yeah.
station.
Yeah.
Almost the happy too, like
Yeah.
la-di-da.
La-di-da.
Like arms
So funny.
swinging, skipping into. No, he didn't, but like, yeah.
I think I just love the way they execute like that concept. Is like this goody cop and then a mobster.
Mhm.
Obvious enemies to lovers. Enemies to lovers is always going to be like one of the best tropes, and I just I really don't mean to like compare this to the other history installments, but I feel like with this concept, the way that they executed it is probably the best execution of a plot out of all of them, which makes it probably my favorite Taiwanese BL
Mhm.
like of all time.
Mhm.
I just really like how they did it. I don't know how else to put it.
I agree. It's definitely at the top of mine. I
Like
will
the writing is good.
yeah. I will say like the character of Jack is the most interesting character in BL for
Mhm.
me. And like aside BL stuff like his romance line and everything, like he's just genuinely an interesting character. And his the fact that he turns out to be something that isn't like you don't I didn't expect the twist. Like I genuinely didn't see that coming. It like afterwards I'm just like okay, this was pretty obvious that like he's a um oh, what do you call it? Spy? Can you call it a spy?
Mm.
Oh, that he's like, oh my
Because
god, I've also lost
he's
words.
working for the police.
Like a double agent.
Double agent, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hindsight, it's very obvious, but I didn't see it coming at all. I was just like, okay, yeah, he's a good henchman, whatever.
He's a good henchman.
He's a good henchman. I honestly forgot that detail.
I'm obsessed with him as a character. I can't get over it.
Mm.
That's how I feel
Well,
about Tangi.
I think that's one of the great things about the way that the story of Trapped was told was that like the secondary couple were fun and they were great. The main couple were fun, they were great. A lot of the cast and the surrounding characters were written so well that you were engaged in a lot of what they were doing and their own little
Mm-hmm.
personalities, and that no one felt that's a lot of the characters didn't feel like they were these like one two dimensional characters. They
Mm-hmm.
felt like they had a little bit of depth, or at least like an interesting story that added to the overall story. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that kept me interested and that kept me engaged because it felt like I was kind of dropped into this fully fleshed out world
Mm-hmm.
that I understood quite quickly, and I understood the dynamics between people quite quickly, and because of that I was able to just focus wholeheartedly on the story that was being told and not trying to figure out as I was going along like how like what was going on in the world opposed to like what was
Mm-hmm.
going on in the story, if that kind of
Right.
makes sense. Like I wasn't trying to
Mm-hmm.
figure out what this world is and how it's interacting and how it's built as I was going along. I was able to kind of know and then like be invested in the story and how the story was
Mm-hmm.
playing out.
Yeah, I feel like often with BLs, you kind of get invested in the romance line of it all. But with Trapped, you're like invested in the entirety of the story, and it doesn't feel boring when there's not romance stuff happening.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All the action sequences are so good too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I always think about that episode whenever Xiaofei and Tangi are handcuffed together and they escape the van and they're running
Yes.
around in the woods. Like even stuff like that where they're kind of like fighting for their lives. It's really entertaining. Like you don't even really need the romance aspect of it
Mm-hmm.
at that point.
Mm.
It's just like the action is so good.
Yeah.
And then like in terms of like tropes as well, I feel like does tropes so well. Like they do the hurt and take care of me type of trope really well. They do
Mm-hmm.
the enemies to lovers
Mm-hmm.
really well. They do what would you call Jack and whatever his name is?
Yeah.
That's like a cat
Zhao.
and mouse type of like trope a little bit.
Well, I mean, Zhao is so naive. It's hard to like. It's kind
Yeah.
of more like the wolf and the lamb kind of thing,
That,
if you know what I
yeah, no,
mean.
yeah. The
Mm,
main would be a cat
mm,
and mouse, and they would be like a wolf and a lamb type of,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But like, the lamb knows what he's doing. Once he
The
figures out what
lamb
he's
knows.
doing, he knows what he's
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
In terms of like so story was great, characterization was
Mhm.
great. um Filming, so like the actual putting together of the episodes was really good. Like the way it was filmed, the quality of the camera work, the sound quality, um everything, like the way that it was edited together, it all lent itself to a really well put together series.
Mhm.
And it's been a while since I've done a rewatch of Trapped, but there's nothing that I can think of that really sticks out in my mind that didn't fit.
Mhm.
If there was, I can't remember.
Yeah. I also don't know if I'm like remembering it through like rose tinted glasses or something like that because it is such a great show. But I don't have any memory of watching the series and going like, "Ooh, that was bad sound mixing," or "that was a really weird transition," or anything like that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's anything that really stood out to me as like pulling me up out of the story because I thought it was didn't fit in. And I did
Mhm,
recently rewatch it just
Okay.
because like I it's a show you need to
Why
rewatch
not?
every year.
mhm.
Every year, like
Yeah.
once a year.
Mhm. I have watched it a couple times, I think. Maybe
Mhm.
like 3.
Same. It's
There's a
also
lot
a
of
series that
rewatch
like
value in it.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. Because there's like I
Mhm.
feel like there was so many things. That's the other thing as well actually that I wanted to mention. I feel like it's a well layered series
Mhm.
because you can watch it once and get something out of it and be like, this is great. And then you can
Mhm.
watch it again and be like, holy crap, I did not notice that, or I did not um, think that it was going to go that way. So now I'm watching certain characters more closely, or I'm looking at this scene from a whole other angle now that I've got a little bit more context, and that you can keep doing that because there is so much more to discover through rewatches of this show.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
I
like
f-
it's not a surprise or a what's it called? A secret that I love the writer of this show, Lin Peiyu. She did We Best Love. She did History
Mm,
2,
mm.
Crossing the Line. She she's so good.
yeah.
And I just had to say that.
No, 100%. She's really good at what she does.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was just kind of like in terms of like the world building and stuff which you were talking about earlier. Um the one thing I wanted, like, I was thinking, like, it's very detailed, and in that detail, like, it's not over complicated. I think the thing with a lot of like stories in this style, which we've seen popping up more in recent years, is that they feel like they need to do a lot to kind of bring out, I don't know if like the edginess is the right word, of like the gangster mob
Mhm.
lifestyle kind of storyline, but I feel like this show was able to like build you into the world and get you interested in the world without like feeling like they needed to do too much or throw too much at you every episode to kind of be like, yes, this is a gangster story, this is a mob story, like, you know, that kind of thing. And so I appreciated that, like, even though we did have all of these like intense and complex like storylines going on, you were still able to focus on the relationships in the show, and the character development and the character growth felt like it had time to happen throughout the show because, like you were saying, Heather, like the world building like was easy to understand and you just could kind of jump right into it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's weirdly a lot of comedy in it.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't expect it, but there's so much comedy. It's really funny too.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm.
Definitely. That's so worth mentioning that it has such a good balance of action and comedy and romance. Like I
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
feel like it's all balanced really well with this like underlining or underlining
Underlying.
either one story, like not mystery but like something that Tangi is trying to figure out as he goes along.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 Does anyone have any favorite scenes?
Mm.
I know Kayla mentioned the when they were handcuffed. I always love the scene where they're dancing and they're trying to make each other jealous. Um, yep,
Oh.
yep. The
That
chemistry in
one,
that scene. Mm-hmm.
oh my
Mm-hmm.
god, that one makes me laugh so hard.
It's
It's
so
the
funny, but also
funniest
like
thing.
I love it so much.
Yeah. I also
Oh.
I also really love the oh yeah, the birthday cake
Mhm.
Yeah.
scene, the whole
Mm-hmm.
scene,
Mhm.
where he also
Mhm.
explains why a birth. I think it's in that scene, or maybe it's before that scene. But like, why you find out why him giving Shafei giving Tangi a birthday cake is so
Mhm.
important and so special to him, And then obviously
Mm-hmm.
like the cute little kiss as well.
Mhm.
Love me the romance.
Yeah. Um, uh, I'll be the unhinged one. No, okay, this is gonna sound weird, but the first thing that popped into my head is when Jack and Xiao is like going around like touching everyone's man boobs, and
Yeah.
Jack is just like, no, touch mine. I'm just like, dude,
Yeah.
it got me.
The flirting level was just like it was steadily going like this, and then all of a sudden it was like just like
Yeah.
up here, like
And
that
Jack's
flirting.
smile during all of that is just like it's just
Yeah.
iconic.
Yeah. I also really liked when he stole him and put him in
Mhm.
it was on his bike, I think. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know what it was about that because like let's not steal people against their will, but like was it
Consent
against
before you
his
steal
will?
someone.
Yes. But that I loved that. That was so cute.
Mhm.
I also I loved the so with Xiaofei and Tang Yi, I loved the balance of their relationship. Where in the moments where they were connecting, they were connecting. They were
Mhm.
having these like not just like sweet moments. They were having these meaningful, intimate moments where they were communicating, and then that
Mm-hmm.
was balanced with like them either just not communicating in a very quite funny way
Mhm.
or like the action part of the mafia story and like the violence part of the mafia story kind of balanced with those really nice intimate connection moments,
Mm-hmm.
and you could see their relationship really develop through that not what's the opposite, not the opposite of balance, but like the duality, well, kind of the duality of that. Yeah. Contrast. That's the word.
Yeah.
The
Mm-hmm.
contrast,
Yeah, yeah.
those moments. Yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm. Yeah. There's just so much chemistry in the show. Like the chemistry
Good
between
chemistry.
everyone is so good. The
Mhm.
Yeah.
romance, the friendship chemistry.
Mm.
Like there's nothing bad, there's nothing negative I have to
Mm.
say about it. It was good.
Mhm. Perfectly
Yeah.
casted.
I agree.
For real.
Yes. Yeah.
Also, I feel like we have to give a shout out to Xiaofei's little curly Q. Didn't he have a name for it in the show?
I swear he did.
I feel like there was like a nickname for it, and I can't remember. But his little curly Q that he always had with his hair,
Yeah, I can't remember it either, but there were so many
iconic,
cute little
iconic.
moments. It was
Honestly,
so iconic.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Anything else anyone
Yeah.
wants to touch on before we give ratings out of 5?
Um, I just want to quickly say, try and watch it in the I think it's the hour long episode.
Mm-hmm. That's
Yeah.
how I watched it. Yeah.
I I think that's how it is on Viki at the moment.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
However it is on Viki at the moment, watch it like that. I feel like that was the best. Yeah, I'm not even gonna be able to find it. That was the best way, I think, to
Mhm.
watch it overall. I'm pretty sure when it came out, we were all watching it in the half hour like episodes, and it was
Mm.
good, but I don't know, there's just something about the way that they've constructed the two episodes. Maybe they constructed it as a full hour and then cut it, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
sure, but the full hour is a good episode the way that they
Mm.
have done it like that.
Flows
So
better.
my recommendation, yeah, my recommendation would be to watch
Mm-hmm.
it like that.
Mhm.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah, that's how I watched it on Viki, and this was a couple years ago, so I don't know if things have changed since then, but yeah, I think it just like that where the episodes cut off in the full hour, I think just lended to like the story flowing across the episodes better. Like they had good like cliffhanger points and all of that stuff. So I think the 10:45 to an hour minute long episode format is the solid way to watch it. Yeah, I agree. Okay. Well, do we want to go around and then give our ratings out of 5?
Who wants to start?
Hmm.
I'll
I
start.
don't
Okay.
know if it's.
Oh no, Kayla.
I was gonna say I don't know if it's ridiculous for me to say 5 out of 5, but
That's
like
what I was gonna say.
no other Taiwanese BL has hit for me like this one has.
Mm-hmm.
Like it truly is my favorite one.
Yeah.
I think it's the best one personally.
Yeah.
Like I said, in terms of the writing, and we talked a lot about the characterization. I just feel like it's solid. It's good, and it really does still hold up
Mhm.
now, like it did then. So I'm doing 5 out of 5. I have to.
No, I agree. I mean, I think everything we've been saying with how well it's balanced, how it's a BL that a lot of us would recommend to a first-time BL watcher to start with, like I think it just has everything that makes a BL worth watching and that makes a BL really enjoyable to watch for me. So I would also give it a solid 5 out of 5. I think it's really up there as like one of the best BLs.
Yeah, no, I have nothing to add. It's fucking fantastic. 5.
No notes.
No notes.
um,
Heather's
I'm at a 4.8 because it's being docked 0.2 because I
Scandalous.
it's only docked 0.2, and that is mainly because I was saying that I can't remember any issues with it.
Mm.
But also, but I'm like, I'm not 100% secure in my memory. So I'm like, I'm docking at the 0.2 because I can't
Because
for
you can't
100%.
remember anything wrong?
User
This is
error.
so unhinged. Oh my god.
Because I'm like, what if there was like an issue with the audio somewhere? Or like, what if I watch it again and I'm like,
Oh,
no,
just
that
in
was a weird
case,
transition,
let's-
and I've said it was
It's
5
so
out of
good
5.
that it doesn't matter. That doesn't even matter.
Okay, maybe 4.9. I can't give it the full 5. I can't give it the full 5 because of
Okay,
user
Heather
error.
is cancelled. Heather is cancelled. Like, dude.
Cancelled.
4.9.
Well, on that note, now that we've canceled Heather, so that's gonna be all for our review of HIStory3 Trapped. Be sure to let us know what you thought about Trapped. If you're watching on Patreon, down in the Patreon comments or over on our Discord server, or if you're watching it later on YouTube, let us know in the YouTube comments or over on our social media. A friendly reminder that all of our reviews are voted on by our patrons, so we don't just choose to review all of our favorites. Like the Patreons chose this for us. So if you're interested in having a hand in what we review each month, you can consider becoming a Patreon member. They also get access to the reviews at least a month before they go out on YouTube to the general public. So if you're interested in that and helping support the podcast, you can find a link to our Patreon down in the description below. It's a great way to support the podcast and all of our endeavors. But yeah, other than that, that is all for this month's review of HIStory3 Trapped. And we will see you guys in another one next month. Bye bye.